Thank you so much, maLeK, for taking the time to have a catch up with me ahead of your Flashpoint 3 matchups. I do want to start to talk about some of the changes that we've seen with G2 recently. Obviously, we've seen Jax coming back into the squad as well. So can you talk to me a bit about how he's been reintegrating with the team and the process that it's been so far?
That was really easy. I just had to call him and he was in directly. He was like, yeah, Damien, let's go. Let's start this again. We obviously had to put some things like on the table together and decide how we wanted to do things. And I think it's a lot for him. It's a lot about no regrets, doing things nicely, enjoying as much as he can for himself because he's not 18 anymore anyway. He still feels young, but he's 28. So yeah, when he entered back in the team, that was a lot about I'm very happy to do the job the best I can for the team. So being an entry, doing a lot of difficult job and etc. I love it. I want to be the best at it. And in the meantime, let go a bit about the pressure you can have, because being on the bench for a while was making him realize like, no regrets. I have to enjoy this as much as I can. So I think it's actually really good in the end for him, and I'm happy because he starts to perform better and better. And how it works with the team, really easy, because we know him so well. He's like bringing an impulse in the team. Can I say impulse? He's giving a great vibes and he's a great engine as a human being. So it's not just about cheering. It's just like having someone that never stops, that go forward, that will always be open to try a strategy on a difficult moment and like go for it, you know, all these kind of things. So yeah, I'm glad we have him back and I hope it will work super great.
Have there been any kind of big changes seeing Jax reintegrating back into the squad this time around? You're kind of saying that he feels like he's got almost like a new lease of life, having been on the bench for a little bit.
Yeah, the big changes are not too much with him in terms of roles. Like it's more around, because we have been removing Kenny. So obviously we have this op things going on. So we had to figure out what we wanted to do. But what I wanted for sure, being with the guys and on backstage, was definitely not to bring a new guy, because I know what we can do. I know all the things we didn't do yet, and we just needed to figure out to what extent, like about Nicola with the op, about like maLeK, that I knew, obviously, even though we have been communicating about Nicola, I knew about maLeK and his capability. But yeah, so it's a bit hard to say. Like Jax is having the same roles, all the same. It's just like a bit more YOLO for him, like just to be here and enjoy and less pressure. And it's for us to bring the pieces around in a different way, for sure, since Kenny is not here. So I don't know if it makes sense at all what I'm just saying, but that's the deal.
Yeah, I like that you pick up on the up there as well, because that's been something that we've seen kind of evolving in terms of G2 without Kenny on the lineup anymore. Because we heard that obviously maLeK was taking it on some maps. We've seen NiKo doing a little bit of his part as well. So how has that process been evolving in terms of getting a main AWPer in the squad?
But the first thing was to not think about a main op, but think about what are our qualities, what do we possess, how do we want to play the game. Not listening to any desk saying like the op meta, even though it's true, like op is super powerful. But we really wanted to look at each other, ourselves, what we can produce, map by map, what kind of identity can we have and how can we make it work. And starting from this, obviously you need some people buying ops and playing with it. On some maps, it needs to be maybe even in the center of our games. Obviously on defense, for example, that's like mandatory to have a good AWPer. But yeah, so we just like, I accepted to put Kenny on the side and take the risks to have the community and all the fans and everyone saying like, what are you doing? I just like said to myself before announcing the news, like, fuck it, like I'm doing it and I will like dive into ourselves, do what I believe is right, give a chance to my boys to make it work, and in a few weeks we will see. And honestly, I'm happy I did that, honestly.
Yeah, and we heard in one of your interviews that you gave at the Blast Showdown, you were kind of talking about this AWPing meta, and some people were agreeing with you, some people weren't. So for anybody who maybe missed out, what do you kind of think about sort of utilizing the AWP in teams at the moment? What's your kind of take on it?
The op can be. I will speak T side first. The op is like really punitive. Specifically online, people are like playing a lot, so they can play fast. Cities can even like do a lot of plays, aggressions, things. So it can be really nice to push off the cities and not give too much space, so you can develop your own game. You can also have like nice picks with it. We can see a lot of players like getting a good room for your teams, having the first kill. And I think it's actually one of our weakness still. Like when I check our own statistics, our opening kills is like quite low average at the moment. And it's one of the things we still need to work on. So even though our results are getting better and we are competing and we are right now in the semi-final of a good tournament, I'm not blind and I still see some limits. And we still need to like catch up on the opening kill area without having this op, which we can do, I think. But yes, it deserves a lot of work, more than having a great opper just doing the job for you. So it needs more work, but I have so much gain on other compartment of our game that I really believe it's like the balance is super positive for us at least.
And sort of speaking about those other aspects of your game, where do you see the main strengths for G2? Sort of coming into 2021, I feel that consistency was kind of a key question around you guys. Do you feel like you are on your way to achieving that consistent form? Where do you kind of see the strengths of the squad at the moment?
One of the things I can say is like I have players able to do a lot of things, entering, trading really well, spacing, not being scared, synergy is really high. A lot higher than I ever had before, I have the feeling. So we will see how it shows up for that part. They are like having the capacity of clutching a lot. So if you do great at opening and having a great playbook and you are like 3v something, 3v3, 3v4, 4v4, you know, all these kind of situations, a new round begins. And the way my players that I have right now communicate and the way they deal with these situations, I think is above average a lot. And I think we are maybe having some pieces being amongst the best in the world, and I have a few of them. So when you are on a level fields, like equal fields, like 3-on-3 situation against G2, up or not or whatever, you will not have an easy time basically. And yeah, that's one of the things. So it's a lot about how we open up the rounds, how we control the map, and how we put ourselves into these good conditions so we can thrive and use our players' qualities. So if it makes sense and give some lights, I would like to say that, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of those qualities, when I spoke to Nexa back at the end of 2020, I asked him, what do you feel like the biggest strength of G2 was? And he said our pure like headshotting ability. That's kind of what he was looking at as being the main strength of G2. Obviously, we've seen some changes in the roster since then, but would you kind of agree that that's been a strength of G2, just the pure firepower that you've had? Do you agree with that kind of take from Nexa?
Yeah, the firepower is definitely a topic. As a coach, watching them all day, I still see them like not being in control sometimes or not being on top of their game. And I even see them being outplayed individually sometimes. So I have some difficulties to say that out loud and say, yeah, we are having one of the greatest firepower you can have. So I'm on my reserve when I speak about this because it can change quickly. Like we can see newcomers being like super confident and putting the same headshots as we do, and then once of a sudden you have like difficulties to play if you rely on it. So yes, I would say it. Yes, Freya, we have great firepower, but like we do everything daily to not rely on it solely. That's definitely a big topic.
Yeah, speaking of those developments, how have we seen Nexa really developing in that in-game leader role, compared back to the beginning of 2021? Now we've had a few shuffles in and out with Jax coming back into the team, some of the roles switching up as well. Have you seen Nexa kind of having to adapt in his leadership style at all?
I think Nexa gained a lot of experiences in terms of utilizing players, understanding me and the surrounding better. I think his minimum level of what he can give to the team on games is higher than before. so he can like be more consistent himself. And one of the main topics recently is like the guys helping him around, like maLeK is like participating a lot more than before. We can see Nicola chiming in on city side a lot with good reads, and not overstepping nexa at all, but like being confident enough and finding the right balance of giving what is important. Hunter as well with some aggressive plays here and there. So yeah, what I feel the most is like surrounded better. I could say maLeK, Nicola, and Hunter are all three participating really well in helping nexa.
How have you found that balance in terms of, other players giving their input as well? There have been situations where, the comms have been really chaotic within the team, or do you feel like there's a good kind of synergy between when players chime in or not?
Yeah, I think it's rules within the team. And I think now they understand what is their role. Like, for example, if you say like you are not the in-game leader, but you have like great informations, or city side is a thing, you are having qualities on reading the game. Mid-round, for example, on your rotations, we just need to understand that it's not like leadership. It's just a player being on the rotation role and understanding his job that he's supposed to give, and then he will give it. Not more, not less, not more. So if I'm playing Dust 2 and we are starting off a round defending A long on Dust 2 and we block the fight, so we are in control, Nicola will move up and he will decide, do I go short, do I go city, what do I hear in my headset, and now he will be comfortable and confident to chime in and take decisions. Do we fight for short? Do we play retake? Do we commit there? Do we do an invitation setup? And in these moments, nexa is in pit, defending long, focusing on all the things, and there is no overstepping, because in the role of Nicola, it's really clear that he's supposed to focus on this kind of communication, and he can bring the team around him. It's all fine. It makes sense. So it's the same on T side with our trio, like from Jax, from Hunter. If they are working an area and it's really important, and that's just normal, and the player will understand. I will not overcall nexa. I will just make sure that if I have an information that is saying like I cannot do the call that nexa is doing, I will speak out and be comfortable with it. If I can like another idea, or if there is a few reactions, we set them beforehand. Example, if I like kill someone short on Dust 2 by doing a slow control and we are supposed to play slow and do a B split later, or I don't know, whatever it's in the head of nexa, we have like some conditions that if they are met, a player can change the call himself and bring the guys with him. So it's a lot of work beforehand, like organizing how we communicate, what is the space a player can have to speak and bring the team with him. And once the players understand their role, then they are just doing great. And then, as I said, you can see nowadays with very comfortable zone like nexa, Hunter, NiKo, maLeK chiming in.
Yeah, that's really interesting to get to learn a bit more about the synergy and the relationships in the team as well. And you mentioned two names there, and obviously NiKo and Hunter, and we know it's been a dream for them to be playing together for so long now. So from the time that NiKo joined the lineup, how have you seen the relationship between these two kind of evolving both in and out of the server?
They are amazing. What I like a lot, it's like there is no blah blah. Like you don't feel on a daily basis that they are cousins. They are like at work giving the job. They are not easy on each other, but they don't make anything personal, if it makes sense. And I'm amazed by this, because outside of the game, it's like family. They are really super close. But when it's about practicing, about the server, about vetoing, and we speak about the veto we will do tomorrow against Gambit in this tournament we play, and they can even argue and bring up things to each other, like, yeah, bro, what this happened? Oh yeah, but what do you think of this? They listen to each other. They are like, and I like it. I like it a lot. They are not easy on them. They are both pushing each other. No, I'm amazed. It's really going great so far.
And speaking about your first matchup here at Flashpoint 3, we're going to be seeing you guys taking on FaZe, which is going to be such an interesting storyline given NiKo's former team. But just in terms of how you're viewing FaZe at the moment, what are you thinking of their form currently? How do you feel they're going to stack up against you?
I think they are not doing great at the moment, performance-wise. That's a fact, and I'm not taking any risk saying this, but I still think they are like dangerous, and at any moment they can like step up and just start to roll and play great CS, because they have the pieces, they have like a lot of good players, and I think Carrigan proved many times that he could do a great job. So I think they need to sort out their own game and adjust to a lot of things. I don't know if they will be ready to play this game against us. But if they are, it will definitely be a big war.
And just looking at the rest of the competition as well, do you view FaZe as your biggest rivals of Flashpoint 3? Are there any other teams that you're really hungry to be taken down in the tournament?
One of the things I'm doing, whatever tournament we play, it's like we look at each other, and every time a tournament starts, it's about curiosity. And we are curious, like, how many teams can we get down? Which team can we get down? Last time we lost this team, can we make it this time? We are having this kind of mindset all year long. And for that reason, coming into Flashpoint will be the same. It will be about curiosity. Who are we facing? What can we do against them? What happened last time we played them? Can we do it differently? Do we do the same? And it's just questions we try to ask. We put challenge, and that's one of the things we use to get forward in this year, specifically with the COVID situation. We are playing online. You need to have challenges. So I'm not looking at rankings at all. I'm not looking at all these things or storyline inside the team. It's just about curiosity about us. What did we do last time? What can we do? Oh, it's a new team. Wow. Can we make it? How do we tackle that challenge? And we are working a step-by-step thing like this. Every tournament, every opponent we face, we have the same thing.
Well, I'm thoroughly looking forward to seeing G2 taken to the stage at Flashpoint 3. maLeK, always an absolute pleasure to get to catch up with you, and best of luck in your game against FaZe.
Thank you. Thank you, Freya. Thank you for having me.